Gopi Jana Balaba Girivanidhari. Gopi Jana Balaba Girivanidhari. Gopi Jana Balaba Girivanidhari. Gopi Jana Balaba Girivanidhari. Yashoyanandana Braja Jana Ranjana. Yashoyanandana Braja Jana Ranjana. Yashoyanandana Braja Jana Ranjana. Yashoyanandana Braja Jana Ranjana. Yamunatira Vanajari. Yamunatira Vanajari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Gopi Jana Balaba Girivanidhari. Gopi Jana Balaba Girivanidhari. Yashoyanandana Braja Jana Ranjana. Yashoyanandana Braja Jana Ranjana. Yashoyanandana Braja Jana Ranjana. Braja Jana Ranjana. Yamunatira Vanachari. Yamunatira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Bo, Hare Bo, Hare Bo, Gaura Hare Bo, Nitai Gaura Hare Bo, Hare Bo, Hare Bo, Nitai Gaura Hare Bo, Hare Bo, Hare Bo, Gaura Hare Bo, Hare Bo, Hare Bo, Hare Bo, Hare Bo. Jayam Vishnupad, Paramahansa Parivrajagacharya, Astotodasa Shishimad, ISKCON founder Acharyas, Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada ki, Ananta Gaudiya Vaishnava Vrinda ki, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki, Prem Shri Gaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityanando, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda ki, Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Syamakunda Radha Kunda Gita Govardhan ki, Rajabhumi Vrindavan Dham ki, Shri Mayapur ki, Ganga Maya ki, Jamuna Maya ki, Bhakti Devi ki, Tulsi Maharani ki, Gaur Premanandi. All glories to some of the devotees, all glories to some of the devotees, all glories to some of the devotees, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Daivim Saraswatim Vyasa Tato Jayam Udirayat Nasta Priyeshu Abhadeshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Reading from Canto 2, Chapter 9, Text 44. Answers by citing the Lord's version. Tasma idam Bhagavatam Puranam Dashalakshanam Proktam Bhagavata Praha Prita Putraya Bhutakrit Tasma idam Bhagavatam Puranam Dashalakshanam Proktam Bhagavata Praha Prita Putraya Bhutakrit Tasma idam Bhagavatam Puranam Dashalakshanam Proktam Bhagavata Praha Pritaya Putraya Bhutakrit. Tasmaidam Bhagavatam Puranam Dashlakshanam Proktam Bhagavata Praha Prita Putraya Bhutakrit. Anyone else? Ladies? No? Tasmadidam Bhagavatam Puranam Darshalakshanam Proktam Bhagavata Praha Pita Putraya Bhutakrit Dam Bhagavatam Puranam Darshalakshanam Proktam Bhagavata Praha Prita Putraya Bhutakrit. Tasmai, thereupon, idam, this, Bhagavatam, the glories of the Lord or the science of the Lord. Puranam, Vedic supplement. Dashalakshanam, 10 characteristics. Proktam, described. Bhagavata, by the personality of Godhead. Praha, said. Pritaha, in satisfaction. Putraya, unto the Son. Bhutakrit, the creator of the universe. Thereupon, the supplementary Vedic literature, Srimad Bhagavatam, which was described by the personality of Godhead, and which contains 10 characteristics, was told with satisfaction by the father Brahma to his son Narada. Please repeat. Thereupon, the supplementary Vedic literature, Srimad Bhagavatam, which was described by the personality of Godhead, and which contains 10 characteristics, was told with satisfaction by the father Brahma to his son Narad. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Although the Srimad Bhagavatam was spoken in 4 verses, it had 10 characteristics which will be explained in the next chapter. In the 4 verses, it is first said that the Lord existed before the creation, and thus the beginning of the Srimad Bhagavatam includes the Vedanta aphorism, Janmadi Asya Yataha. Janmadi Asya is the beginning. Yet the 4 verses in which it is said that the Lord is the root of everything that be, beginning from the creation up to the supreme abode of the Lord, naturally explain the 10 characteristics. One should not misunderstand by wrong interpretation that the Lord spoke only 4 verses, and that therefore all the rest of the 17,994 verses are useless. The 10 characteristics, as will be explained in the next chapter, require so many verses just to explain them properly. Brahmaji had also advised Narada previously that he should explain the idea he had heard from Brahmaji. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed this to Srila Rupa Goswami in a nutshell, but the disciple Rupa Goswami expanded this very elaborately. And the same subject was further expanded by Jiva Goswami and even further by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. We are just trying to follow in the footsteps of all these authorities. The Srimad Bhagavatam is not like ordinary fiction or mundane literature. It is unlimited in strength. And however one may expand it according to one's own ability, Bhagavatam still cannot be finished by such expansion. Srimad Bhagavatam, being the sound representation of the Lord, is simultaneously explained in 4 verses and in 4 billion verses. All the same, inasmuch as the Lord is smaller than the atom and bigger than the unlimited sky, such is the potency of Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gena Gena Shalakaya Chakshu Unmilitam Gena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So in this chapter, Lord Brahmaji is describing, or is at least described, how the universe came into being. There's a chapter shlokas, which are then, Prabhupada says, are expanded into 17,944 shlokas. And this is just one of the 18 Puranas. Of course, there are 6 Puranas in the mode of goodness, but the Srimad Bhagavatam here is the essence of all the Vedic literatures, because it describes the highest purpose of human life, savai pum samparo dharmo, hito bhaktira dokshaje. Ahaitukya pratiyata yayatma samprasidati. So we accept what is called top-down knowledge. The atheists, they are involved in bottom-up knowledge. They study with their empirical tools, they study matter, and because Naame Prakasha Sarvasya Yogamaya Samavrita Mudhoyam Nabijanati Amibya Param Avyayam, Krishna says, because their consciousness is riveted in matter, and they simply are limited to matter and the laws of physics, then they insist that God is dead. There's no God. It's a mythology. They call it Hindu mythology. However, their ideas about this universe and how it came about are completely speculative, purely speculative. Mayaya aparita jnana. Their intellect is stolen by illusion. And they're not allowed the avail of Krishna's internal potency. Name prakasha sarvasya yogamaya. Krishna covers them by his illusion, and they're not exposed to the internal potency of the Lord. So they keep speculating. They went to the moon. Actually, the 5th canto says the moon is 94 million miles above the earth. 94 million miles. It is 1 million miles above the sun planet. It also describes that this universe is not heliocentric. The planets are not all moving around the sun. It is not a fact. Actually, all the various planets have their own ellipses, their own orbits. All the planets. And it's described in the 5th canto that the Dhruva planet, the pole star, which they accept also, is like the hub, and that there are very subtle ropes which attach each planet, Mercury, Jupiter, Mars, Venus, all these various planets that they're looking at and studying. They're all connected by these subtle air ropes to Dhruva. And the Dhruva planet actually has its own rotation. It rotates like this. And therefore, it swings all the planets around. But this is all going under the Mayapur, under the supervision of Krishna. He is orchestrating the movement of all the planets. Maya Dyakshena Prakriti Suite Satcharacharam Hetu Nanena Kuteya. So that is how it's going on. So it all boils down to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who describes that from his first expansion comes the Chaturvyuha expansions of the Lord, Vasudeva, Aniruddha, Sankarshan, and Pradyumna. And then from there, Sankarshan, again there's expansion. There's also a secondary expansion, Chaturvyuha expansions. And from there you get Karanadakshay Vishnu. So Karanadakshay Vishnu in one breath, that's 311 trillion years of the solar system. Of course, 6 months on this area in the Bhumandala is only one day, 12 hours of the heavenly planets. So theory of relativity was discovered by Einstein. They call it Einstein's theory of relativity. Actually, no, Krishna's relativity theory. Everything is relative. We know that Lord Brahma came and stole the cows for one moment, and then that was 1 year. Like that. But we learned that this universe is 4 billion miles in diameter, and that half of it is covered with Garbha water, Garbhodak. And the Lord Garbhodakshay Vishnu is lying on Sheshanag. And from his lotus navel comes the lotus stem, which travels throughout all the universes, the 14 planetary systems, up to Brahmaloka. Abrahma Bhuvanaloka Punar Avirtana Arjuna Mamupecha Tukonteya Punar Janma Navidyate. But it's all places of misery. Even Lord Brahma undergoes misery. Sometimes he's influenced by the mode of passion, and he does foolish things, like he chases his daughter in the 3rd canto. Then he gives off his body, becomes fog. So many descriptions are given. Lord Brahma, he challenges Krishna. He does, for a moment, he's Brahma Vimohana Lila, becomes illusion. But he's the first created being. Tene Brahma Hridaya Adikavaye. He's the first being created from the lotus navel of Lord Garbhodakshay Vishnu. And then higher in Swargaloka, there is an ocean of milk where their Kshirodakshay Vishnu is living. And he's there with Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune. And when there's some problem in the universe, Lord Brahma goes to Kshirodakshay Vishnu. There's so many problems in the universe, the demons are taking over. There's a constant, dharma se glanir. There's a constant destruction of religious principles, which causes chaos within society. Just like in today's society, there's a great and hostile attitude towards God. There's a promulgation of atheism. It's actually a belief system. We believe that there's no God is also a religion. And they come up with ideas like the theory of evolution, natural selection on genetic mutations. But now the more they study the cell and microbiology, they discover that this itself is a mythology. and they've crunched numbers. What is the probability that one body, a body design can evolve into another body design, like from a cat somehow it evolved into. And they came out with their computers, they've done research on probabilities. And the probability is 1 chance in 10 to the power 169. Okay, let me give you a little explanation. If you say to someone, I want to marry you. Okay, come back in, 10 minutes. That's a few thousand seconds. If you say, come back in a million seconds, that's a few years, 32 years. If you say, come back in a billion seconds, that is like a long time. It's over 100 years. So like this, 1 chance in 10 to the power 169. That's 1 with 169 zeros behind it. A billion is 1 with 10 zeros behind it. So that probability, there's more probability that it won't happen than it will happen. So these are the great speculators in our society, and their belief system is based on the assumption that all reality can be explained through the process of studies with their imperfect tools, microscopes and telescopes and so on, by the study of matter, which, as Krishna says, is constantly changing. So their theories are constantly changing. And their theories are also based on pure speculation. For example, they talk about the fact that 16 billion years ago, there was what is called a singularity. That the universe, because they find out that it's expanding, they extrapolate backwards, and they see that at some point, the universe had infinite density and infinite temperature, and there is a big explosion called the Big Bang. Excuse me, sir, what is infinity? Ishvara Parama Krishna, Sachit Ananda Vigraha, Anadir Adi Govinda, Sarva Karana Karanam. That the cause of all causes is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Advaitam, Achyutam, Anadim, Anantarupam. He is unlimited. And Sarvasya Shaktir, he has unlimited potencies. And he's unlimitedly intelligence. So they're challenging the Supreme Personality, all-powerful God. We don't see God. Okay. You can't see God by approaching God with your false ego. Ahankara vimudatma kartaham iti manete. Prakriti kriyamanani guna karmanisa. The Lord's external energy is very, very powerful. The Maya, Mama Maya Dirachaya. And everyone is entangled. They're held by the neck in this illusory energy of the Lord. This is Krishna's Shakti, his Maya Shakti. You have no chance of escaping unless you take shelter of the Supreme Lord, unless you accept a bona fide spiritual master, right? Yasya Deva Tata Guru Tata Devi Tata Guru Prakashante Mahatmanaha. That one must tadvidi pranipatena pariprashanena sevaya. There's so many verses. Tad guru mivabhikachat samit prani shrotyam brahmanishtam. That one should approach a spiritual master with great humility and inquire from him submissively. Samit prani shrotyam brahmanishtam. Inquire, who am I? What is the absolute truth? The absolute truth is a person. His name is Krishna. Lord Brahma found that out the hard way. He was standing there, and Krishna showed all the Vishnu forms of the cowherd boys and calves. He showed him all these Lord Shivas from various universes. There's trillions and trillions of universes. Our universe is only 4 billion miles in diameter. And still they can't possibly understand and cover the entire universe by their tiny, teeny little, Prabhupada said, their teeny little brains. They're called fools. He calls them fools and rascals. And Krishna says, Mogasha Moga Karmana Moga Jnana Vichestisa Rakshashim Asurim Chaiva. Because of this demoniac propaganda that's going on, we see a breakdown in social situation. We see a breakdown in the fabric, the moral fabric of society. Because they say we're just molecules. They did a research on, a few years ago, a couple of teenagers in Colorado, USA, the great emblem of success. Two boys went into a college, a high school. They were teenagers, and they killed their classmates. So when the investigation took place, they investigated what these boys were looking at on the computers. And what they had developed a manifesto, a worldview. And it was, we're simply products of matter. We're simply thrown against each other in a pitiless fight for existence. And we're simply survival of the fittest. And the weak will, perish, and the fit will survive. So we're going to go out and we're going to get rid of some of the weak. So they justify, because of atheism, they're able to rationalize and justify the murder of 22 or 23 human beings. This is madness. This is complete madness. And everyone, oh, America, America, it's a great place. It's the, the classic example of Kali Yuga. There's more influence of the mode of passion and ignorance. When Prabhupada went to America, he said, everyone is covered by the modes of passion and ignorance. Pramada means madness. People do mad, crazy things, craziness, because of the mode of ignorance. Loba pravitam aramba karmana ashamas priha. Rajani etani jayante vivide bharatarshava. That in the mode of passion, people are greedy. They assume that they're this body. Pritak vena tu yajganam, nana bhavam pritak vidam, veti sarveshu buddheshu. One who looks at another person and thinks, oh, you're a Muslim, or you are, white, or you're black, or you're Hindu, or you're Christian, or you're a dog, or you're a cat. This is a mode of passion. And from the mode of passion, there is frustration, there is anxiety, there's misery. What to speak the mode of ignorance? Krishna said, Chintama parimam cha pralayanti pashitaha kama paboga parama patanti narake suchaha. That because they think that the only purpose in life is to titillate the senses, to enjoy this place of birth and death, then they patanti narake sucha, they simply glide into the lower planets. It's described in the 5th canto. There are 28 regions of hellish planets. There's many hellish planets. Suchi Mukha, Krimi Bhojana, Anda Tamishra, Maharorava, all these places where people who engage in vikarma or sinful activities are simply wasting their lives. Simply wasting their lives, not inquiring into what am I, who am I, what is the purpose of my life, what happens after death, and so on. Dvipada Pushu, two-legged animals. This is what they are. Then unfortunately, they've wasted this human form of life. So, Bhaktivinoda Thakur states, Udila Arana Pura Babage, Vijamani Gora Amani Lage. The Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come, and he's simply tatai tate bhajale ko gana ganate, and he's playing mridanga and he's chanting this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So the Lord is so merciful that he appears millions and trillions of times. Nanavatarama karod bhuvaneshu kintu Krishna swayam Govindamari purusham tamaham bhajami. that the Lord's incarnations appear just like waves on an ocean. And he comes simply out of his compassion to relieve these fallen souls, to uplift the fallen souls. So Kritya Dari Kirtanam, in the age of Kaliyad Dari Kirtanam, in the age of Kali Yuga, simply, very simple process. Kirtanam eva Krishnasya mukta para sangha param vajat. Simply in this age of Kali, simply by chanting under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master. The spiritual master, he knows everything, past, present, and Samoham Sarva Bhuteshu. Krishna said, I know everything, past, present, and future. So Krishna empowers the great acharyas, like here we're reading that Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur expanded on the Srimad Bhagavatam. Rupa Goswami, it's described, the Rupa Goswami, that the Lord entered within his heart, just as the Lord entered Lord Brahma's heart. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu entered Rupa Goswami's heart and impregnated him with the knowledge, the complex knowledge of Vedic literatures. Also, Narottam Das Thakur. Again, these are personalities, Srila Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, all empowered by the Supreme Lord from within the heart. Yesham satata yuktanam bhajatam pritipurvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. Desham evanukam partam aham jnana jam tamaha nashamatmi atmabhavastu jnana dipena bhashvata. That the Lord is telling Arjuna that, you know, from within my heart, your heart, he's in everyone's heart, he's going to reveal to us. So it comes from within, not from outside. Na te vidus artha gatimi vishnum. Dirashraye bahir artamanina. Andarya tandar upaniyamanas tipisha tantriyu urugaya gataha. They do not know what the goal is Lord Vishnu. How to serve Lord Vishnu? In pure devotional service. That they don't know. Bahir artamanina. Their only interest is to look outside themselves, the objective world, to get some peace and happiness, some material pleasure from the outside world. And that is not possible. Mamopecha punarjanma dukalayama shashvatam napnuvanti mahatmana samsiddhim paramam gati. Krishna says, those who take shelter in me, they get freed from this dukalayama shashvatam, this temporary world, which is an ocean of misery. Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur, he has a verse where he says that this material world is just an ocean full of crocodiles and sharks. And those crocodiles and sharks are always trying to eat the conditioned soul. And you may think, oh, the crocodiles, those are people who don't like us. Those are our enemies. No. The crocodiles or sharks are living within your heart. Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. Envy, lust, hate, lust, greed, anger. These are the crocodiles that are in your heart, trying to eat away at your devotional service, at your devotional life. So the conditioned souls have no way of coming out of this material world. Samashitaye padapalavapavam mahatpadam punya yishomari. Bhuvam buddhiryastuam padam 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 yad vipadam natesham. That this material world is a great ocean of suffering. That's in the 10th canto. Lord Brahma says this. Lord Brahma says this in the 10th canto. Ocean of suffering. The only shelter is those 2 lotus feet of Lord Krishna. And then the entire miserable ocean of birth and death and all its concomitant miseries are reduced into as much water as that you can fit in the hoof print of a little calf. So that is what is being given to us by this Guru Parampara. This is given to us by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, Narottam Das Thakur, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Prabhupada. They're empowered devotees of the Lord, and their only concern is how to break through this ignorance and this nescience and this illusion which is being propagated by atheistic, demoniac scientists and leaders of society. They're simply misguided and sucking the blood of the people. That's all. They don't care about their followers. Yesham ku patadestrinam patatam tamasi yadaya. Yeshadadana vachastevai vajanti ashma plava eva. This verse means that people put their faith in leaders. Oh, he's my prime minister, he's my president, he's such a great personality. You know, Schopenhauer, they just made a movie about Schopenhauer. What's his name? Oppenheim. Made a movie about how he made a big bomb to destroy the whole world. Nuclear weapon. Oh, they're so proud. Prabhupada said they're so proud of these nuclear weapons. So they're following these persons because they have some material intelligence. Albert Einstein, Oppenheim, so on. Niels Bohr, quantum mechanics. And in this verse it says, just like passengers on a ship, like the Titanic, unfortunately the boat is made of stone. Ashma plava means a boat made of stone. And that boat will simply sink. They put their faith, Ye Shradadana Vachastevai. They put their faith in the words of these leaders, false leaders, philosophers. One guy said, he wrote a book, Why I'm Not a Christian. Was it Bertrand Russell or something? Yeah. He wrote a book, Why I'm Not a Christian. I don't think it's Bertrand Russell, some English philosopher. In other words, why I don't believe in God. Freudism, why I don't believe in God. Existentialism, why I don't believe in God. Nietzsche. All these so-called philosophers, so many from Europe and other places. There's no God in existence. There's no Lord. It's simply the tendency of the soul, the conditioned soul, is to become an atheist. Actually, it's like, if you had a 50-50 balance, would you like to be a spiritualist or would you like to be a materialist, an atheist? Oh, I'll go for atheism. The scale tips this way because of the influence of Moksha Moga Karma. Trividam, Tribir Gunamayer Bhavar, Evi Sarvamidam Jagat, Mohitam Nabijanati, Mabe Paramavayam. Deluded by the 3 modes of material nature. They can never know Krishna. Mohitam Nabijanati, Mame Param. They'll never know my supreme position, that he is in every atom in this room and throughout the entire universe. He's in everyone's heart in this room and within all creatures, great and small. Sarva Yoni Shikuntaya Murtaya Sambhavambhaya Tesham Brahma Mahadyane Aham Bijapata Prita. He's the father of all living beings, and he's arranging for everything to go on nicely. He's supplying everything. But the conditioned souls, especially in this age, they lean towards, I think I'll be an atheist. I don't, who needs God, you know? Who needs God? And then there's suffering ensues. So they have done a study where belief in God has really declined in the last 2 centuries. And they've seen an upswing in immorality, breakdown of family unit, more conflicts nationally, socially, localized, community-wise, family-wise, internationally, of course. Conflict. This is Kali Yuga. So they've done these studies. But there's one great quality, right? Kalar doshanida ninde rajan astir eko mahadgunan. Kirtanad eva Krishnasya mukta sangha parambhajat. That in the age of Kali, there's one bright light. And that here in Mayapur, the Lord walked on this earth, in this area, Nadia, 537 years ago, God himself. You know, how could you say that? Well, we'll believe in anything, but we won't believe in God. The Supreme Lord is full of compassion and love. One Prabhupada said, the Lord has feelings. The Lord has feelings. And he wants us to develop feelings for him. This is called Raganuga Bhakti, or spontaneous devotion. You can't spontaneously devote yourself to God, body, mind, and words, unless you have some feelings. So love of Godhead is already there within our hearts. And the process is being given to us by Gauranga Mahaprabhu himself, God himself. You know, he showed Murari Gupta and his incarnation as Lord Varaha. And then another time he exhibited at the house of Srivas Thakur, just over here, his entire Virat Roop. So he's God. And here probably says he's smaller than the smallest, bigger than the biggest. That's him. What can't he do? He's Yogeshvara, the Lord of all mystics. So he's giving this powerful process. Nam namakari bahadani jasharva shakti statarpita niyamita smarane nekala. That in his holy names, this Mahamantra, so much power is invested to cleanse the heart of all anarthas, crocodiles and sharks and tilingila whales. Purify the heart of all these anarthas, subtle and gross. Even in the assembly of devotees, we come to Krishna, Prabhupada's movement. I want to be a big guru. I want to be a big GBC. These are crocodiles and sharks within the heart also. Or, you know, I'm a special devotee. I'm important. I'm the you know, I'm the head pujari. This is the problem. Ahankara vimudama, you know. Even within the associated devotees, we have to watch out for these sharks and crocodiles and maintain a state of humility within the mind. Manidva manadena kirtaniya sadahari. Dambo darpo bimanas cha kruda purushameva cha agyana chabijachasya partha sampidim asurim. False pride, arrogance, conceit, harshness. You may see this in yourself or in other devotees. And Krishna says, sampadam asurim, qualities of the demons. So we're also influenced by the mode of ignorance and passion. We're also influenced by demoniac qualities. So we have to be careful. We have to be very careful and keep vigilance. Be very diligent in the process of devotional service. We have to avoid being influenced by things like prajalpa, kutinati, fault finding. This is all because of the influence of the false ego. And ultimately the false ego means I'd rather be Krishna. I'd rather be the center of the universe, of everything. I'd rather be Krishna. That's why we're here in the material world. Vanva mohina bar. We've fallen into this illusion. So we have to be careful also in our devotional communities, that we're thinking, we also look and see, oh, this person is grihasta, oh, this person is sannyasi, oh, this person is brahmachari. No, Lord Chaitanya rejected all that. We're simply eternal servants of the eternal servants, of the eternal servants, of the eternal servants of the Supreme Lord. You know? The gopis would come and it's described in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, that they derive, just like the creepers around the tamal tree, the shoots and the leaves, they derive more nourishment than the creeper itself, which is embracing the tamal tree of Krishna. So the gopis, they want to assist other gopis and push them towards service to Krishna. And this is the magic of Krishna consciousness. Lord Krishna says, one who claims to be my devotee, my dear Uddhava, he's not my devotee. One who says he's a devotee of my devotee, he is my real devotee. So Narottam Das Thakur says, my 4 types of foodstuffs are the dust coming from the lotus feet of the devotees. I take that dust and I make it my 4 types of foodstuffs. So that is the humility that we want. To understand ourselves as simple, tiny little specks in this entire vast universe, of which Lord Brahma is the top of the universe, and at the bottom of the universe, in Patala, Vitala, Atala, Loka, different places described, Bali Maharaj is down there. He's living down there in the Atala planet. Which one? Kutala. Sutala, yeah, Sutala planet. And Lord Vamanadev is there as his gatekeeper. So Lord is everywhere. Narayana parasarvena kutaschana vibhiti svarga pavarga narakeshu apitulyartha parshada. The devotee doesn't care. He just asks the Lord, please let me be a devotee of your devotees. If it's hell, heaven, I don't care. As long as I can engage in pure devotional service to you, then I'll be happy. So this devotional service is a great gem, a great diamond, a great money, a great pearl that is being given to us, and the only price that Lord Chaitanya is charging is your enthusiasm. Your enthusiasm to engage in devotional service. Your eagerness to engage in devotional service. Utsahan nischayat dharaya. Tat kama pavartana. Rupa Goswami says, enthusiasm, patience, confidence, determination, and following the footsteps of the great acharyas, giving up the association of non-devotees. This is the only price that is charging for this great gem, this great diamond. Prabhupada told the British when he was in England, you went to India and you stole all the diamonds and the gems and so on, but you missed the real gem of Bharatvarsh. The real gem is this pure devotional services given by the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. For the benefit of the entire world, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has empowered the 6 Goswamis to write all these Vedic literatures to enlighten and uplift us from this deep, dark well of material existence. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Any comments or questions? Any challenges? Prabhu? Prabhupada every day on his morning walk would question the devotees. He'd say, so what did they say? And then Sri Damodar Maharaj would say, Prabhupada, they say that life comes from chemicals. Okay, I'll give you a dead body right now, and you bring it back to life. They have so many theories, abiogenesis, how life can come from chemicals. And he challenged like this, you fool and rascal, he said. And yeah, he challenged all types of atheistic philosophies, challenged them. And then they said, well, we made some amino acids 70 years ago. They made an experiment. They got some amino. But I said, yes, Okay, you made something. So make life from that then, you know. No, we will in the future because we made him. In the future, we'll make other things like proteins and so on. And gradually, you know, probably post-dated check. Simply rascal. Show me now. Just like they say, show me God, show me God. You know, God should come and dangle himself in front of your telescope. He should dangle himself on a rope, you know, here I am, and then we'll accept God. No, it doesn't work like that. You know, ichadvesha samutena dvandva mohina bharata. The soul has fallen into this illusion. Samabhuteshu, they're bewildered by the energy of the Lord. And if you want to get out of it, you have to approach in a humble way and say, Lord, I'm so fallen. Even the great acharyas, Prabhupada Saraswati says, I'm swimming in this ocean full of these crocodiles and sharks and so on. I'm just in this. He's a great devotee of the Lord. After all, he's the Shishya Guru of Gopal Bhatta Goswami, whose Shalagram Shila manifested into Radharaman, deity which has been worshipped for over 400 years in Vrindavan, non-stop. Prabhupada said they had the highest process of deity worship was at Radharaman temple, and he instructed Yamuna Devi to go there and take detailed guidance from the Radharaman Goswamis of Vrindavan. So this is great devotees of the Lord. Shalagram Shila suddenly manifested as the Lord Raman to this devotee, Gopal Bhatta Goswami. You know, great things have happened. And his uncle, Prabhupada Saraswati, is actually his uncle and Shiksha Guru from South India. He's a great devotee of the Lord. He's written so many wonderful literatures about the love of Radha and Krishna in the spiritual world. How Radharani is searching after Krishna in the forest of Vrindavan, and she's mad out of ecstatic love. She's mad with ecstasy. All these things are going on in the spiritual world. Love of God, in ecstatic symptoms of love of God described by Rupa Goswami, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Standing of the hairs on end, choking up of the voice, tears flowing from the eyes like torrents of rain, convulsion of the body, trembling of the body, shuddering of the body. All these symptoms are going on in the spiritual world because they have so much love for Lord Krishna, the ecstatic love of God. That's what's being offered. So anyway, Prabhupada Saraswati portrays himself, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur also portrays themselves as fallen souls, full of lust and hate and anger and greed. But they're actually great, great devotees. They're trying to teach us how we can come to this platform of devotional service. With great endeavor and determination and enthusiasm, we can come to the level of spontaneous devotional service to Krishna. Raganuga Bhakti, that is the goal of our lives. At least come to that, where we can remember Krishna 24 hours a day. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.